let's talk about making money, because that's what, when we started, that is the core of what every farmer wants to do. So what is the fastest way, do you think, that farmers can make money?
No, you can't. Why am I saying that? Farming is like a marriage. It's not for everyone. Why? Is because it's a lot of work. And when I talk about making money, I don't mean one hit wonder. There's that thing of like plant today, you'll make money. Yes, you will make the money. Fantastic. However, what about the next season? And when I say you cannot make money fast in farming, it's because I've been there for 17 years. And I have seen the seasons that I did not expect to make money, but I was consistent. I made more money than the season that I was very prepared. As we're talking now, in January, I lost 8 acres of onions because it was normal. January, February, March, you sell onions at the highest prices. But this January, February, March, it was raining heavily. So we could not. And then our brothers from Mount Elgon, some onions came in from Ethiopia, some onions came from Egypt. We were targeted to sell onions at 100 shillings. I was selling onions at 15 or 20 shillings. But now, so those of us who gave up, they're those ones who said, no, I'll do it again. Right now, onions are the highest price. It has never happened like this across the region. Because right now, June, July, August, onions come from Tanzania. But this time, we don't have onions coming from Tanzania. So you can imagine anybody who has onions. Now, in fact, on my way here, there's one of our buyers was asking me, please, I need 15 tons of onions today. So I called some farmers who have, and they're like, I'm selling at 100 and they come to the farm. It does never happen. Okay? So farming needs a lot of consistency. It needs your presence. It needs a lot of care. It needs some very good calculations, and it needs good resources. If you don't have money for the next 3 seasons, don't start. In fact, if I was told to start farming today as my day one, I would not completely. Why am I saying this? Is because I see the mistakes they do is that they have 100,000 shillings today and they want to farm, sell, make money for their lifestyle as well as for the farm. You cannot do that. So you have to be very consistent. And just like marriage, if you want 9 children, you have 2 options. So you can decide to get 9 different ladies, but you'll still have to wait for 9 months. Or get 1, and in 9 years you have 9 kids. The same with farming. Farming needs you to sit down and make a decision that first of all you'll be called a farmer. Remember, in 1 year in my farm in Kajiado, I plant maize 3 different seasons. But I plant 3 different varieties because there's a variety that will perform well when it is raining. There's one that will start off with rain and will perform better when it is dry. There's another one that I will be able to harvest when it's raining. So those are 3 different varieties. So I have to have all that information with me before making that decision that I'm going to grow maize.
I can tell you just broke a lot of people's hearts with that one, that always say, you know what, I think I have a quarter an acre, I want to put melons, and then by the end of like 6 months, I will have like this X number of money in the bank. I've seen similar trends on TikTok. Someone is like, hey, I bought the land, I put cabbages in there, and by like the 4th month, I want X amount of money in the bank. And it's been tears.
Let me tell you something. Do you know why you cannot make money in farming very fast? What will tell you that is a bank will not give you an agricultural loan. If your returns is expected in 3 months, that bank will come and only finance 15%, maximum 30% of what you're going to put, because of the risks involved. In fact, one of the things that I've seen financial institutions, and one of the reasons why they don't finance the agricultural loans is only probably 3% of the loan portfolio in financial institutions. Because number one, they ask you, so who will be managing the farm? I have a farm manager. So it's not you. So it already removes you from... And the moment you do that, they reduce your loan acceptability by 50%. Because if you won't be here and we're giving you the money, how sure are we that we'll get our money back? And that's why I find most of the farmers who are really serious, they actually stay on their farm. If you go to Timau, you'll find them, somebody has decided, I will live here. It is better for me to get good returns and buy a chopper to be going to Nairobi for shopping, but I'll stay here. They've started, you see, like Nanyuki, Timau, they've started. But you find somebody's like, oh, they're in the office in Nairobi and they're sending fertilizer. Who told you you're going to get a loan? So you cannot make money you see, money is made gradually. In fact, I tell many farmers these days, somebody will ask me, what crop can I grow that can give me returns faster? I tell them, take that money and put it in a money market. But remember, even money market will only get 14%. Only 14%. So you can imagine, so if that cannot happen. However, for you to be able to make money consistently, you have to make sure that you are also consistent in the market. remember the people who are buying from you, they want to buy from you in January, in February, in March, not in January, then they come back to you after 4 months because they've already got other people. So making money in farming, not as fast as we think it can. However, there's a lot of money in farming. I can tell you for sure, I have made my returns on the investment I've ever done. In fact, today, if I would decide to sell the farm, I will have made money from it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting you say, because most people have this idea that I have like a 50 kind of acre, let's say in Ushago, then I'll put some farm managers in there and then they manage the farm for me. But that doesn't usually work, and there's a reason why. I think we can learn something from like developed countries, like in the USA, like you have farmers who are there full time.
Let me tell you something. With all due respect to people who set up businesses, because I've also set up quite a number of businesses, I think there's very little business I've never done. Actually, I was just showing my kids when you're coming. The place, 18 years ago, I set up a cyber cafe, the first cyber cafe on Mombasa Road. And that signboard is still there. No, I sold it, but the way I did the signboard, anybody who has come back to do still uses it. And when you want to start a barbershop, what do?
Just find a location.
You find a location, but what do you look for? It has to be an ideal location. There's traffic, and apart from that, there's also the people working there. Who do you pick?
Probably find the best barber you can get,
who already even has what? His own clientele. You get somebody, even the way it's done, you invest in it properly. So if you can be able to get a barber who is really, he knows how to do this job. In fact, the person who shaves his own, chances are you'll poach him. True. But we want to make money in farming. Somebody has told you that you can be able to make 400,000 shillings growing watermelon in 4 months. But I go and get a guy who is more of a watchman, and I cannot even employ an agronomist who I can pay even 15 or 20,000 shillings. So you want this guy to make for you 1 million shillings. But this guy has no clue. This guy has never, ever, ever seen 100,000 shillings. And seeing it, I don't necessarily mean having held, but he has never envisioned to see 100,000, because 100,000 is just 10 months salary of 10,000 each. This guy comes, in fact, for me, all the guys work on my farm. For me to start working with you, need to have a smartphone, because if there's a challenge with the crop, how will I know? In fact, there's a software that I have that all the guys working on my farm, they have to have that software. It's a diagnostic software. It is a standard procedure for me. You need to have that. It is a free software, by the way. And so what I do is I just get Wi-Fi on the farm, and they can access it. And every day they have to, when they're doing scouting, they have to report back. It is better for me not to see what they have sent, but it is worse if they don't send it. So to make money, you also have to invest in it. And investing, you have to invest in systems. And the first system you have to invest in is yourself as a farmer. Or you have to have a very thorough guy. Like for me, my farm manager has never studied agriculture. In fact, he doesn't even know anything about agriculture. But he knows how a bed should look like. He knows how a crop should look like. He knows how a banana plant needs to look at. He knows, we've calculated the number of plants. So he knows that these are the number of plants. In fact, the day we were planting maize. And I told guys in the farm, that was last year. I gave them a task and asked them, how much have you planted? They were like, we've done 3 acres of maize. And I was like, no. I want to know how many plants you've grown. And they were like, how? Yeah. See, it's 3 acres. I was like, no. I need you guys to count each plant. And they were like, no. How does that make sense? So 2 weeks later, everybody had a different count, because some assumed like this is 100 on this bed times 6 beds, that's 600. But there are two of them who actually counted each. So one came with 42,000. The other one came with 43,000. The other ones came 38,000. So I just told them, when you count, just write and throw in a bottle, and it will be. So when I started looking, there's one who actually had 26,000. So one by one, you're supposed to have 24,000 plants in 1 acre of maize. So you can ask yourself, the one who got 48, how did they get it? Okay? And why that is important, Brian, is because then I need to understand that I need to do 100 grams of fertilizer per plant So I will know how much fertilizer I need to put. But if I plant an acre of maize and I'm told put 1 bag of maize, so if it's 24,000 plants, if I put 100 grams per plant, I need 240 kilos. So 240, those are 5 bags of fertilizer per acre. Are you seeing how that comes out? But also, apart from that, I also need to know how much I've spent on that acre. So maize, fertilizer, so that when I calculate my projections, I say, okay, every maize plant will give me 2 cobs. So plus or minus, and say, let me remain with 22,000 plants. So I will know that I will have 44,000 cobs. So if I sell one at 10 shillings, I am more profitable than someone growing onions. However, we are told that maize is a loss. It's because we've been told to put 2 bags of fertilizer. That's 100 kilos. And the maize wanted 240 kilos. It needed 5 bags. You see, so making money in agriculture, you have to do it as a business. Just the same way as a barber shop, you have to know how many people came, how many people were shaved, how much aftershave was used. So if you used 6 bottles and only 2 people came, unless these guys were drinking it, okay? So that aspect of making money, you have to think through it really well. If you want quick money, probably go to politics.